Hello everyone, welcome back to another Pokemon series, the beginning episode talk. So, this episode starts off with Team Rocket digging a hole, covering it up, losing the location, and falling into said hole. Yes, that is exactly how this episode starts off. And basically from this point forward, this will be their characterization. They are there to be a nuisance so that we can have action sequences or just big dumbass. And that's it. And I know a lot of people will eventually get sick of that. So, the gang reaches Pewter City. And Ash rests on a rock who someone is selling. His name is Flint. You want to buy a rock? You want to buy a rock for 1,000 yen? Which, look, I'm just going to put a comma somewhere. So, you want to buy a rock for $6 or $10 or the one that you're sitting on, $20? Yes, this man sells rocks. So he takes them to the Pokemon Center where we have the official introduction and every Nurse Joy looks the same. And that's not being racist. That's actually true. They're all family members of each other. And also we get the introduction to the Pokemon League, which it feels like something Ash already should know about, but whatever. Anyway, you need 8 gym badges in order to be able to participate in the Pokemon League. Or as I like to call this one, as the season is called as well, the Indigo League. But when this came out, the confirmation to the rest of the world that the Generation 2 would happen wasn't really a part of the plan. So Ash wants to battle Brock. But first, we need some food. So we go over and eat some food. And Misty's like, hey, you can use some of my Pokemon. And my brain, when I watched this the first time, was like, you have a Goldeen. Useless. On land, as we have discussed already. What kind of help are you gonna be? This would have worked better if they had shown Misty actually having Pokemon that can work and fight, instead of a fish that doesn't work on land and that can't really fight either. So this sequence for me personally doesn't really work. And also we never really have had the reveal that she wants to be a water type specialist. The only thing, like I said, we know is that she has a Goldeen. So, lending her Pokemon is not really a good option. But Ash rejects it because of his Saiyan pride. I mean, Pokemon trainer pride. So, Ash is left with the bill, which, once again, I'm gonna call this $11.50. Imagine going to a restaurant, and the only money you have to pay is $11.50 for a meal for 2 people. In order to feed 2 people, basically going on a date would cost you $11.50. Imagine that. If you get a glass of water, you have to pay $20 nowadays. Things were so much better back in the day. But Ash and Pikachu head for the gym, and they are ready to challenge Brock. So Ash starts off with Pikachu, and Brock starts off with Onix. And I know that this thing looks really scary, but to put this in perspective, this thing has a lower attack stat than Pidgey and Rattata, alright? And is only slightly stronger than Caterpie and Metapod. This is like the 3rd weakest Pokemon we've seen so far in the series. And that's not a joke. If you look at the game data, Onix has a base attack stat of 40. It's pathetic. However, Ash will learn about the problems with Generation 1, because the Generation 1 games are completely broken. And one of the broken things is when a Pokemon uses Wrap or Bind, you don't get to do anything until it resolves. You can't recall the Pokemon, you can't do anything. And Onix uses Bind until Ash surrenders the battle. Also, Electric-type moves don't work on Ground-type Pokemon. Or do they? So Ash leaves the gym all defeated, and he meets Flint again, who takes Ash with him. And they talk a little bit about Brock, so Flint shows Ash the non-battling version of Brock, and that is basically taking care of, as the dub says, 10, but in actuality, 9 siblings. Which makes me go, did these parents never heard of a condom or birth control? Like, what is this? Are you kidding me? 9 siblings! Is this a Christian family? Because that is the only explanation. Because those people love having kids. But Brock takes care of them. And then when Ash is like, where are his parents? Flint is like, well, the good-for-nothing father left on a journey and they haven't heard from him since. And the mother, sadly enough, perished. Now, this is false and was never in the Japanese version. Is exclusive to the English version. His mom isn't dead. We'll see her later. Way later. See you in 15 years for that episode when we get to Hoenn. Well, Battle Frontier, not Hoenn. because technically Battle Frontier in the anime is in Kanto, so. But Ash is still determined to beat Brock, so Flint decides to help him by powering Pikachu up using a water wheel, which in my brain goes, wait, isn't that like cheating? Like using steroids or something, or not? I don't know. However, there's no water, so the water wheel doesn't work. So Ash has to walk the water wheel in order to be able to power up Pikachu. And he does. So the next day, Ash is ready for the rematch, and he sends in Pidgeotto to fight against Geodude, who has a higher attack stat than Onix. Let's just get that into perspective. The only thing Onix is good for is a physical defense stat, and outside of that, that thing is worthless. Also, a little bit of an extra thing. Ash has the one Pokemon in Generation 1, Red, Blue, and Green that can fight against Brock when you choose Charmander and he doesn't use it. And that is Butterfree. Because in case you don't know, when you play Pokemon Red, Pokemon Blue, or Green in Japan, there is no other option. If you pick Charmander, you either power through that gym with a Charmander or you catch yourself a Caterpie. Because there is no Mankey, and Nidoran male and female don't learn Double Kick until the 40s. So unless you are ready to grind, you catch yourself a Caterpie, evolve it into a Butterfree, and that's the only way you can beat Brock. However, Ash doesn't use Butterfree, but also, his Butterfree doesn't really know Confusion. But Pidgeotto loses to Geodude, so Pikachu gets sent in, who uses a Thunderbolt on Geodude. Also, this is the episode in which Pikachu learned Thunderbolt, so I guess the water wheel paid off. Also, that thing is a ground-type Pokemon. No matter how much powering up you do, there is no way that electric-type moves should work on a ground-type Pokemon. No way. But it does. It works. So Brock sends in Onix, and Ash attacks it, but the bind once again catches Pikachu. And even a Thunderbolt isn't enough to escape. So as Pikachu is about to faint, Brock calls off the attack, lets Pikachu go. However, because of the scared Thunderbolts that Pikachu did early on in the battle, and also the Thunderbolts later on when he is binded, there's a little bit of a fire, so the sprinkler system goes off, which causes Onix to get wet, which causes Pikachu to be able to use Thunderbolt effectively. Now this one I don't necessarily have a problem with, because in the Pokemon games, way later on, we got the move Soak, which turns a Pokemon into a water type. So that's basically what happens here. And water conducts electricity, so I will allow this one, but the Geodude one makes no sense. But before Ash can call a second Thunderbolt, he gets stopped by the family of Brock, because they don't want to see Onix get hurt. And when Brock says to his siblings that they should stop, they don't stop. And Ash eventually is like, Pikachu, let's call it a day. I surrender. Number one, because of the fact that you stopped your attack when you could have so easily won. And number two, this is not really a fair way to win. So Ash leaves because outside of pride, he also has honor. And this touches Brock. So Brock catches up to Ash, gives him the Boulder Badge. And then we have the true reveal of who Flint is. And it turns out he was the good-for-nothing father that abandoned his family. Which is like, Ash, you savage! So Brock basically tells him exactly how each of his siblings behave and what he has to do for the family. And then Brock joins Ash on his journey. And we have the squad for the rest of this Kanto journey completed. And we also have found the best traveling companion. Because even though Brock was serious and mysterious in this episode, he's gonna become a really fun character later on. Big fan. And also, he is the introduction to Pokemon breeders 2 generations before Pokemon breeders would make it into the games. Because the breeder training class isn't something that happened until Hoenn. So that's funny. But that is the end of the episode, and overall, I thought it was a really good episode. I know people are going to be upset about the fact that Ash got gifted the gym badge. I don't care. I love the way that it happens. I like the training. This episode also shows off the determination that Ash has in order to train his Pokemon. That he would do anything to help his Pokemon get stronger. Even jump on a water wheel. Because I feel like technically if he had his Pidgeotto use Gust, maybe he could have spun the wheel as well. But whatever. I also like the Flint stuff with the whole selling rocks and being a good-for-nothing dad. I love this episode. And we now have badge number... I don't in the game necessarily, because I think it's going to take me about 2 more episodes before I take on Brock myself, because I'm still getting that Butterfree. and I have to make it through Viridian Forest. But let me know you guys' thoughts about this episode in the comment section down below. With that being said, thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope you guys have enjoyed, and if you did, please like button, subscribe if you're new, if you're not already, turn on notifications, and don't forget to check out the Let's Play channel, link in the description and at the end of the video, and I'll see you guys next time for the Mount Moon episode. Bye!